in 525 to 529, Apollo has just stopped talking, and he and Daphne are still running. He's still chasing after Daphne. And in 525, the Penean, Daphne, is fleeing or has fled. This is perfect tense. Has fled or fled him, about to say more words or more things in her timid course or her fearful flight. And with him, with the man himself, with Apollo, she left his words unfinished, or she left his words or his unfinished words with him. Then also she seemed pleasing. The winds were laying bare her body, and the flamina, the breezes, oncoming, or the oncoming breezes, were fluttering her clothing turned towards it, or her clothing facing the breezes. And the light air, or the light breeze, or the quick or fleeting breeze, was giving her hair back, having been struck, having been having been beaten by that air. So the light air, the light breeze, or the quick breeze, was here maybe a little less literally turning her hair, having been struck back. Her beauty was increased by her flight. So going back here, a lot of grammatical items, but nothing I think that we haven't seen before. This is the future active participle used substantively. So that means that the noun is missing, so we supply the noun. So she fled him, about to say or going to say more things. And here is the substantive neuter plural noun that we see a lot with multa or omnia, but here plura, so more things. Timido cursu, not really an ablative of means, right? This is not how she's talking, but we could say that it's an ablative of means with fugit. So she fled by a timid course, or with a timid course. So maybe an ablative of description is a little bit more appropriate of a label for that. Cum here, not the cum clause, but just cum, the preposition that means with. So with the man himself, in Latin uses ipso when they want to intensify that pronoun. So with him, with he himself, the man himself, because we're talking about Apollo, she left her unfinished words. Really beautiful way of saying she has no interest in listening and receiving his pleas. And then also, and we know that this is visa est, there's an ellipsis of est there, she seemed, and we know it's she because it's the A, and she seemed decans, she seemed pleasing to him, even then, right, as she isn't going to stop, and she's not going to agree to listen to him. And this goes back, I think, to the comment that Ovid makes before about Apollo's love or lust for her, and when he says that all of he falls in love with all of the parts of her, including the parts even that he can't see, and those parts are even more compelling. And I think this is a little bit of that. She's in his mind, she's playing almost hard to get, and that makes him want her more. So the winds were laying bare her body. So kind of ironic with my last comment, but now there's really nothing left to the imagination, right? And the flamina, the breezes, were fluttering her odd wear sauce westes. Hard words to get into English, but obvia means it's coming at you, so it's not it's in your way. Obvia, and then odd wear sauce means it's facing, so it's not going with the flow. It's facing against, turned against. So the clothing that is oncoming with those breezes is being turned back or being fluttered. And then again, her hair, having been struck by those breezes, by that levis aura, was literally, she was giving her hair backwards. So she was, well, she's not really, the air was giving her hair backwards. And so maybe turning back or pushing back would be a good translation of daba, a little less literal. And then aucta est here, we have that separation of the participle and then the verb that makes it just perfect passive, and fuga. So her form, going with my comments earlier, her form, her beauty was increased by her flight.